In a small peaceful town surrounded by soft green hills, there lived a boy named Ethan. His world was simple. School in the morning, playing with friends in the evening, and lying on the grass watching the clouds drift across the sky. He wasn't the best student nor the worst. Just ordinary. But deep inside, Ethan carried a quiet frustration that no one else could see. Every day, he tried hard to study. He would open his books with hope, but after a few minutes, his mind began to wander. Words blurred, numbers tangled, and nothing seemed to stay in his memory. His classmates often laughed when he forgot answers or made silly mistakes. Over time, that laughter turned into his silence. He began to lose confidence, thinking maybe he just wasn't meant to be smart. One afternoon, after school ended and the classroom emptied, Ethan stayed behind. The sunlight fell gently on the wooden desks. Mr. Harris, the philosophy teacher, was sitting quietly, reading a book. Gathering courage, Ethan walked up slowly and said, "Sir, can I talk to you for a minute?" Mr. Harris looked up, smiled kindly, and gestured to the chair beside him. "Of course, Ethan. Sit. What's bothering you?" Ethan hesitated for a moment, then said softly, "Sir, I'm really bad at studying. No matter how much I try, I can't remember anything. I can't focus. I feel like there's something wrong with me." Mr. Harris smiled again, this time not out of pity, but with warmth. "Ethan," he said gently, "you're not alone. Many students struggle with this. But if you truly want to change, I can teach you how. It's not magic, it's a way of training your mind. Step by step." That day marked the beginning of a quiet transformation. Mr. Harris took a glass bottle filled with muddy water and placed it on the table. "What do you see?" he asked. "Dirty water," Ethan replied. "Right," said the teacher. "No, let's leave it here for a while and wait." After some time, the mud settled at the bottom, and the water became clear. Mr. Harris said softly, "This is your mind. When it's full of thoughts, fears and noise, everything looks unclear. But when you let it rest, clarity returns. Before you study, take 5 minutes to just breathe. Close your eyes. Don't think. Just feel the air moving in and out. A calm mind learns faster than a busy one." Ethan nodded, thinking deeply about those words. The next day, Mr. Harris called him again. This time, he placed a small candle on the desk and lit it. The gentle flame flickered quietly. "Focus on this," he said. "Don't let your thoughts wander." At first, Ethan couldn't do it. His mind jumped from thought to thought. What his friends were doing, how hard the next test would be, how much he had failed before. But he tried again. Slowly, his breathing steadied, and the flame became all he saw. After a while, Mr. Harris said, "See, Ethan, your mind always wants to run. Toward the past, toward the future, but the real power is in the present moment. When you study, be here fully. Forget what you did wrong yesterday. Forget what might come tomorrow. Just focus on what's in front of you." Each day after school, Ethan returned for another small lesson. One day, Mr. Harris placed a sponge and a rock before him. Pouring water over both, he asked, "What do you notice?" "The sponge absorbs it," Ethan said. "The rock doesn't." "That's right," said Mr. Harris. "Some students only memorize, they're like the rock. Nothing stays. But those who try to understand, who imagine and connect ideas, they're like the sponge. So don't just memorize your lessons, Ethan. Understand them, feel them, let them become part of you." Another afternoon, Mr. Harris handed him a large wooden block. "Try to break it." Ethan tried but couldn't. Then Mr. Harris cut it into smaller pieces. "Now try again." This time, Ethan broke each piece easily. The teacher smiled. "That's how learning works. You can't tackle everything at once. Break your study into small parts. Learn a little every day. Take breaks. The mind grows strong in patience." And one morning, Mr. Harris planted 2 seeds in 2 pots. One he watered daily. The other he ignored. After a week, one pot had a small green sprout. The other remained dry and lifeless. "You see," he said, "consistency creates growth. Don't study for hours one day and skip the next 3. Even if it's 20 minutes a day, keep doing it. Regular effort brings results." Ethan followed every word. At first, the changes were small. He could sit a little longer, remember a little more. Days turned into weeks, and his confidence slowly began to bloom. His grades improved, not overnight, but steadily. More than that, he started enjoying the process of learning. Months passed. Then years. Ethan grew older and life took him to the city. He joined a good university, met new people, and faced bigger challenges. But no matter where he went, the lessons of Mr. Harris guided him. Every morning, before opening his books, he sat quietly breathing, clearing his thoughts, just like the muddy bottle. He studied with full focus, just like the candle flame. His friends often asked, "How do you stay so calm before exams?" Ethan would smile and say, "Because panic doesn't solve anything, focus does." One day, his professor noticed his steady performance and invited him to share some study tips with junior students. Standing before the crowd, Ethan felt a wave of nostalgia. Looking at those young faces, eager yet anxious, he saw his younger self. He began softly, "There was a time when I couldn't study at all. I thought I wasn't smart enough. But one teacher changed everything. He taught me that focus isn't a talent, it's a habit. You don't need to be born smart. You just need to train your mind." He told them about the muddy water, the candle, the sponge, the rock, and the 2 pots. As he spoke, the audience listened in silence. Some smiled, others nodded quietly. By the time he finished, they weren't just hearing a story, they were feeling it. After the session, a shy student approached him and said, "Sir, I can't focus either. I keep failing. What should I do?" Ethan smiled and said, "Start small. Just 5 minutes a day. Calm your mind first, and everything else will follow." A few years later, Ethan returned to his hometown. The hills looked the same, peaceful and green. He walked through the familiar school corridors, memories rushing back. In the same classroom where it all began, Mr. Harris sat by the window reading. His hair was grayer now, but his eyes held the same calmness. Ethan entered quietly. Mr. Harris looked up and smiled. "Ah, Ethan," he said, "you finally came back." They talked for hours. About life, about learning, about how the world changes but wisdom stays. As the sun began to set, the room filled with golden light. Mr. Harris opened a drawer and took out the same glass bottle from years ago. The water inside was clear and still. He placed it before Ethan and said softly, "This is what your mind has become." Ethan looked at it and smiled. "Thank you, sir. You changed my life." Mr. Harris shook his head gently. "No, Ethan. You did. You chose to believe. You chose to be patient." That night, Ethan sat outside under the starlit sky. The world around him was quiet. He thought about how far he had come. From a boy who couldn't focus to a man who taught others to believe in themselves. He realized something powerful: success isn't about doing everything perfectly. It's about doing the small things consistently. It's about faith, patience, and the courage to begin again every day. He whispered softly, "A focused mind isn't born, it's built." And somewhere, in that small town surrounded by hills, a quiet wind carried his words away, perhaps toward another young boy or girl who needed to hear them. If this story touched your heart, share it with someone who's struggling to focus. Sometimes, all it takes is one story, one spark, to remind us that clarity lives inside all of us. And remember to like, share, and subscribe to Awakening Life, where every story awakens the light within you. The Secret of a Focused Mind, a story that reminds us that calmness and consistency are the true keys to success.